Mount Rainier, a majestic sentinel of the Pacific Northwest, the snow-capped giant of Washington, stands as an iconic symbol of the region's natural beauty. Its towering presence dominates the landscape, drawing visitors from around the globe. But this breathtaking peak is more than just a scenic backdrop. It's a complex and dynamic geological feature. It's an active volcano, a sleeping giant, under constant watch by dedicated scientists and advanced monitoring systems. Lately, scientists at the Pacific Northwest Seismic Network have detected a surge in activity, recording over 800 tiny earthquakes. These tremors have occurred beneath its surface in just a single month, an unusually high number that has piqued the interest and concern of volcanologists. This concentrated cluster of quakes, technically known as an earthquake swarm, presents a unique challenge to researchers. It's like a beehive buzzing deep underground, a flurry of seismic activity that hints at the complex processes occurring within the volcano's core. Individually, these tremors are far too small to be felt by people on the surface, but highly sensitive instruments strategically placed around the mountain pick up every subtle vibration, meticulously recording the data for analysis. The sheer number of quakes and the concentrated period in which they've occurred is quite unusual for Rainier, deviating from its typical seismic background. This anomaly is raising important questions about the underlying causes and potential implications of what's happening deep below the iconic summit. Volcanologists are diligently analyzing the wealth of data collected, employing sophisticated models and techniques to decipher the signals. They're carefully searching for clues in the precise depth, geographical location, and the specific timing and frequency patterns exhibited by these quakes, hoping to understand their origin and potential impact. Mount Rainier is not just a beautiful landmark. It is also considered one of the most dangerous volcanoes in the United States due to its proximity to populated areas. The danger stems not only from the possibility of future eruptions, with their associated ashfall and pyroclastic flows, but also, and perhaps more significantly, from its potential to unleash devastating lahars. These volcanic mudflows are triggered by the rapid melting of the extensive ice and snow that blankets its volcanic slopes. Therefore, even seemingly small changes, like the recent increase in these tiny quakes, are taken with utmost seriousness by the scientific community. This is because of the very real and significant risks they pose to the numerous communities nestled in the valleys surrounding the mountain. The mountain's serene beauty and picturesque views belie the dynamic, powerful geological forces simmering beneath the surface. This inherent duality demands constant respect, unwavering vigilance, and continuous monitoring efforts. Every rumble, every tremor, every subtle shift is a reminder. Rainier is alive, a geologically active entity, and we must pay close attention to its every signal, interpreting its messages with care and precision. Scientists are on high alert, meticulously examining the data, carefully watching for any subtle sign that this recent increase in activity could potentially signal something significantly bigger on the horizon. So what exactly is an earthquake swarm? It's a question that often pops up when we hear about increased seismic activity, especially around volcanic areas. These swarms can be a bit mysterious, and understanding what they are is crucial for interpreting the behavior of our planet. Unlike a single big quake with aftershocks, which typically involves one major event followed by smaller, gradually decreasing tremors, a swarm is a burst of many small quakes in one area over days or weeks. These quakes don't follow the typical pattern of a main shock and aftershocks. Instead, they appear as a cluster of events happening closely together in time and space. Think of it like popcorn popping. Lots of little pops, a flurry of activity, not one big bang. It's a series of smaller releases of energy rather than one massive rupture. Swarms are common at volcanoes, but they can also occur in other tectonic environments, often signaling movement of magma, water, or gas deep underground. These movements can create stress and fracturing in the surrounding rocks. As magma pushes upward, trying to find a path to the surface, it cracks rock, causing these tiny quakes. The pressure exerted by the magma can overcome the strength of the surrounding rock, leading to small fractures and slips. Superheated water and gases, present in volcanic systems, can also force their way through cracks, expanding and creating pressure that triggers seismic events, adding to the seismic buzz. This constant activity can be detected by sensitive instruments, providing valuable data to scientists. Most swarms don't lead to eruptions. They're part of a volcano's normal breathing. It's a sign that the volcano is active and dynamic, even if it's not currently erupting. Sometimes, though, a swarm can be a warning sign, an indication that something significant might be happening beneath the surface. If quakes get stronger or move closer to the surface, this could suggest that magma is rising closer to the surface, increasing the likelihood of an eruption. That's why scientists track every detail: location, depth, and frequency. These parameters help them understand the nature and potential implications of the swarm. They're like detectives, piecing together clues, trying to understand the underlying processes driving the seismic activity. From the mountain's restless heart, the data they collect provides insights into the internal dynamics of the volcano. The current Rainier swarm is a puzzle, a complex phenomenon that requires careful analysis and interpretation. Possibly just the mountain stretching, accommodating internal pressures, or maybe something more significant is happening deep within. For now, it's a fascinating reminder of the hidden forces at work beneath our feet. These forces shape our planet and influence the landscapes we see around us. Monitoring continues, providing a constant stream of data to assess the volcano's state, ready to catch any shift in the volcano's behavior. Early detection of changes is crucial for mitigating potential hazards. The story is still unfolding, and scientists are working diligently to understand the mysteries of Mount Rainier. Mount Rainier is a sleeping giant with a unique danger lahars. Its thick ice cap makes it the most glaciated peak in the lower 48 states. If volcanic heat melts this ice, it can trigger massive mud flows, lahars, that race down valleys at highway speeds. These flows can bury towns miles away, threatening communities like Ording, Puyallup, and even parts of Tacoma. Many people live on land shaped by ancient lahars, often unaware of the risk beneath their feet. Beyond mud flows, a big eruption could send ash clouds across the region, disrupting life far beyond the mountain. The combination of ice, steep slopes, and nearby cities makes Rainier one of America's most dangerous volcanoes. Understanding every tremor is critical for the safety of thousands. The stakes are high and vigilance is essential. Lahars, volcanic mud flows, a chilling reminder of nature's raw power. These aren't your typical mud puddles. We're talking about something far more formidable. Are among nature's most destructive forces. They possess the capacity to reshape landscapes and alter the course of rivers, leaving behind a trail of devastation. Picture a river of wet concrete, not the kind you'd use for a patio, but a churning, unstoppable mass, packed with boulders and debris, trees, and anything else unfortunate enough to be in its path. Imagine the sheer weight and force, surging down the mountain at terrifying speed. It's a race against time, and nature holds all the cards. Lahars can be triggered by eruptions. The very thing that built these mountains can also unleash their fury. Landslides destabilizing the already fragile slopes, or even heavy rain on Rainier's unstable slopes. The water saturates the ground, turning it into a slurry ready to descend. The mountain's weakened rock and thick ice, a geological recipe for disaster, make it especially prone to sudden, massive flows. It's a constant threat looming over the surrounding areas. Once a lahar starts, it follows river valleys, using them as ready-made channels for destruction, burying everything in its path under feet of debris. Homes, businesses, entire ecosystems can be swallowed whole. Communities along the Puyallup, nestled in the shadow of the mountain, Nisqually, and Carbon rivers, are especially at risk. They are in the direct line of fire should a major lahar occur. The aftermath is devastating, a scene of utter ruin and despair. Buried towns, destroyed infrastructure, roads ripped apart, bridges collapsed, the very fabric of society torn asunder, and altered landscapes. The familiar geography is erased, replaced by a barren wasteland. Recovery is slow and difficult, a long and arduous process of rebuilding, with farmland and roads often lost for years. The economic and social impact can be crippling. That's why scientists and emergency managers, the unsung heroes of disaster preparedness, plan relentlessly for the next lahar, poring over data and refining evacuation strategies, even when the volcano seems quiet. Beneath the serene surface, the potential for disaster always lurks. Preparation is the best defense, the only way to mitigate the inevitable. Against this unstoppable force, respecting the power of nature is paramount. The threat is real, a constant reminder of the forces at play. And history shows it can happen with little warning. We must learn from the past to protect the future. History offers sobering lessons about volcanic hazards. In 1985, Colombia's Nevado del Ruiz erupted, melting glacier ice and unleashing deadly lahars. The town of Armero, 30 miles away, was buried at night, over 23,000 lives lost. The tragedy showed how even a small eruption on a snow-capped volcano can devastate distant communities. In 1980, Mount St. Helens erupted in Washington, triggering powerful lahars that destroyed bridges, homes, and highways. The flows traveled over 50 miles, disrupting life and commerce far downstream. These disasters highlight the need for clear warnings, evacuation plans, and public awareness. The lessons from Armero and St. Helens drive today's monitoring and preparedness at Mount Rainier. Effective communication and readiness save lives. The past is a warning. Even quiet volcanoes can change everything in a single night. We must learn from history to protect our future. Rainier's story is still being written. With Rainier's recent swarm, what are scientists saying? Experts at the USGS and Pacific Northwest Seismic Network believe the quakes are caused by deep movement of superheated water and gases, not rising magma. The quakes are tiny, deep, and not getting shallower, which is reassuring. No other warning signs like gas changes or ground swelling are present. Swarms like this are normal for active volcanoes, though this one is larger than usual. The official alert level remains at normal. There's no sign of imminent eruption. Scientists are watching closely, ready to respond if anything changes. For now, the message is calm vigilance. Monitoring Rainier is a high-tech, round-the-clock operation. Seismometers detect every tiny quake, mapping their depth and location. GPS and satellite radar track ground swelling, looking for signs of magma movement. Infrasound sensors listen for low-frequency rumbles from gas releases or rock falls. Gas monitors at vents detect changes that could signal new magma. Lahar detection systems in river valleys use buried sensors to trigger sirens if a mudflow starts. This network gives scientists real-time data to spot any shift in the volcano's behavior. Early warning is key. These tools buy precious time for communities to act. The system is always on, always alert. Science is our first line of defense. Despite the recent swarm, Rainier's alert level is still at normal. The quakes are too small and deep to be felt thousands of times weaker than what people notice. Volcanoes naturally go through cycles of activity, and quiet this swarm fits within that pattern. Experts interpret the activity as deep hydrothermal movement, not a sign of imminent eruption. The scientific community is committed to transparency, providing updates as needed. For now, the best information comes directly from USGS and PNSN, not rumors or headlines. The message, Rainier is restless but not dangerous at this time. Stay informed, but don't panic. Enjoy the mountain's beauty, knowing it's being closely watched. Mount Rainier's activity is a reminder to be prepared, even when danger isn't imminent. The Lahar warning system, sensors, sirens, and alerts, gives communities time to evacuate if needed. Public education and regular drills ensure residents know evacuation routes and what to do. Every family should have an emergency kit and a communication plan. If you live in a hazard zone, know your route to high ground and keep a go bag ready. Simple steps can save lives in a crisis. Living near Rainier means balancing awe with respect for its power. Science and preparation give us time to act. By staying informed and ready, we can coexist safely with this sleeping giant. The future depends on